YouTube, we are back with another video, and it is going to be a Smite video because the Love and War update has officially released. It is the 24th, about to be the 25th as of recording this, and I gotta say, I played a lot of it, and I have, some personal good news that I'm going to get to in a second, but I wanted to bring a small review about the Love and War update for Smite because I actually think that this was a very good update. One of the few good updates, like even item wise it was a good update, and it also brought in a god that is actually a good god to bring into the game. Now Ishtar is the featured god, and this god is incredibly broken. I mean, this is the clear best ADC in the game, and we'll get into all of that. Please, if you enjoyed this video or you enjoy any of my videos, please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting to join in on the conversation. But with that being said, the Ishtar update, Love and War, is out, and there was so much that we got. First of all, we have a new Odyssey event, which I've already started. I am up to the Hunbats, and you can't really get too far in this unless you actually buy everything, because you have to wait for the bundles to actually come out. So I'll probably be getting all of these bundles leading up to the tier 5 Hades skin, which is the Crow of Torment. I think this is a very cool tier 5 skin. Honestly, one of their better tier 5 skins. I wasn't a fan of it when I saw it in the update show, but as I've seen it in game, it's actually pretty cool, and Hades does have a place in this meta right now, so I think it's perfect timing for him. Some of the other skins, like the Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff skin, I bought that skin almost immediately because I use Cuckoo a lot. I have 4 stars on him, and he is one of my top gods in the game, so I have him for sure. I have his skin, and I'm trying to find him right now. And I think that this update also brought some of the coolest item changes, because mainly it's just cost effective. I'm a mage, I play a lot of mid laners, so I also play ADC. I mean, I can literally play every role, but like, if I could pick one, I would pick mage. And personally, I love the cost-effective change that they've done to Divine Ruin. They've done it to Spear of the Magus and Desolation. They've just cost-affected them, so they're cheaper items now, which makes them really good. And this is the Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff skin. I use a lot of those items. This is actually my build that I use for Cuckoo as of now. It's a very good build. It's a little weird double stacking, but this build works very well. You get a lot of pen shred. You get a lot of power and pen, plus you hit that passive for Cuckoo, which is very nice. And we're going to go into the next part of the update, which is, some of the items. And I think the biggest thing item-wise for me is what they didn't do, and they didn't nerf some of the big items. So one of the items they did not nerf is Warlock Staff, which is a mid laner's item. Warlock Staff is the best item in the game. Straight up, it's the best item in the game. This item gives you incredible amounts of health. It gives you incredible amounts of power, percent pen. I mean, it is the literal do-it-all item, and I think that it was supposed to be nerfed, but I don't know. They did not nerf it, and I really thought they would. I'm also not sure why they didn't nerf any of the other items that I feel are being picked up a lot, like Transcendence. Transcendence is a huge item right now that everybody's talking about, everybody's picking up, and they did not really do much to nerf that item at all. And I'm going to pull up the patch notes here, actually, now that I think about it. Let me pull up the patch notes. But yeah, they didn't nerf Transcendence, which was really weird, because Transcendence is another like top item. Pretty much everybody who can builds it. It's just an incredibly core item right now. This is the new goddess Ishtar, and yeah, I thought that, and Ishtar takes Transcendence like extremely well too. So we're gonna just take a look at these notes on paper. I've already broken down a little bit. So this is Ishtar. I mean, her ability, I may as well talk about her since she's first. Her abilities are incredible. First of all, her ult is like very good. It's actually like, if any of you watch Naruto, it's like rigged shuriken. Like, you shoot a bunch of arrows in a direction, like a bunch of different directions, and then you pull them back at your will, and you do double the damage. Her 2 is incredible because it's like Hui's ult, but in a line. And then her 1 is great because there's 2 different variations of her 1. She has the arrows that shoot and just do a lot of basic attack damage with explosive shots, and then she has the strike shots where it's like she's lobbing little bombs at you. Think of Baba Yaga's 2, where she throws the potion at you, but much faster. And then her 3, she dashes forward, and if she hits an enemy god, she stuns them, leaps in the air, does a backflip, and then hits them too for some damage. So yeah, she's a very, very incredible god. And I think she has a good passive, and her hunter, she is by far the most broken hunter I've seen like in this game. I think Danzaburo was really good when he came out, but Ishtar blows Danzaburo out of the water. And then you take a look at some of the skins here. Obviously, you get the Ascended skin, and you get whatever the first skin is, which is basically just a recolor. And then you have some of the most of the cool skins here. I mean, I already talked about the Crow of Hades skin. I think it's an amazing skin. I also have this Hunbat skin. The Cthulhu Uwu you can't really get unless you buy everything, but it's another amazing skin. Not really a fan of the Soul skin or Nuwa skin. I'm not really a fan. I like Nuwa and Soul. I think I have both of them God rank 10, and I think I have 2 stars on Nuwa, but I'm not really a fan. And I'm also not a fan of the Shiva skin, because I feel like if you're going to give Shiva a new skin, this is the most uncreative skin you could have picked. There's so many gods in the game that have like this type of skin, where it's like the like shadow type skin, and I don't know. I feel like they could have did a better job. The best skin in the game is Cuckoo Puffs Kukulkan. This skin is the best skin in the game right now. I mean, come on. It's literally basically Count Chocula, Cocoa Puffs, whatever you want to call it. And, you know, it's, look at this, an important part of a balanced meta. I mean, that is insane. The Dapper Baron Samadi skin. So this skin is great, I guess, but you can only get it through the community event. So you have to play a certain amount of days. So make sure you're logging in and playing at least one game, because I think you have to get like 7 days played throughout the 14-day event to actually unlock the skin. And I think it gives a map fragment too for the Odyssey too, so you can get some free gems there too, along with getting free gems during the Spin the Wheel event. And then the Bad Apple Discordia, I also bought this one too. I actually like it a lot. I think it's pretty cool. She kind of has like Harley Quinn vibes here, so I actually like this skin quite a bit. You also have some skins that I don't think these skins are in the game right now. So I think these skins are coming, but I don't think they're in the game. This Anubis skin is okay. They're pretty much all like scary skins, and I think they're okay. I think the Anubis skin is probably the best one. I'm not really like too big a fan of the Fen skin or the Ymir, and then the Hui skin. I don't really use Hui a lot, so. But as we move on to the update, so the update came out, and like I said, there is not a lot of things that I thought they were going to do. I thought Transcendence was going to get nerfed. I thought that there was going to be a huge nerf to Warlock Staff, and there just wasn't. So they want this meta to continue. The biggest, first thing in this update is that level 15 supports can now upgrade their starter item. That has come back, and now there is restriction, so you have to be down a certain amount of gold. Like, you have to be the lowest gold on your team by level 15 to actually get this, which, you know, if you are the lowest gold on your team by level 15, upgrading your starter item is going to help, but I don't know if it's going to like change the game, in my opinion, because if you're down that much, you're probably already getting out farmed. Like, most of the time, at least in my experience, when I play support and I'm like down, you know, bottom gold, it just, most of the time the game's not going too well, and you're just focused on farming items first. Don't get me wrong, starter items are still mostly the best items in the game, but it's the gap is closed a little bit, because I still think there are some items that are actually better than starter items, and supports don't have a ton of variety. I mean, really, you're just doing the compassion strategy, where you get compassion and then you get Helm of Renewal, and then you get a lot of burst healing. Maybe you could still do Sentinel's Embrace for aura, but like, nobody's really building War Banner or Spartan Flag. Nobody's building Lono's Mask, Animosity, especially not on a support. So yeah, I'm not sure how much this is going to matter. Sphinx Bauble has gotten a lot of feedback. So 60% CDR is what they landed on. They decreased the power, but it has no more damage output debuff, which is still really good. And they have, you know, just overall, like, your protections are decreased by 15%, I believe. Yeah, 15% right here. So that's really not that bad. This is still going to be a huge item for a lot of people to, you know, pick up. And the 60% CDR is, I think, going to be really good. 60% CDR can make a huge difference, especially depending on the god that you play. Griffin Wing Earrings. This is really good, because so the power increase is whatever, but it's this that you want to worry about. The item no longer like hurts you for buying this item. So you can pick this item up on a Soul or on a Freya, and you get faster autos, but you don't lose that power, because usually you would lose this power, and so it's kind of not worth it, but now you don't. So now it's nice. This is still not like a first item build, but like if you want to pick this up late as like the last item, it would help out a lot just to out trade people or pump out more damage, because like I said, you're not going to lose that damage that you would be losing because they took out the output debuff. Rose spiked earrings is I don't know what to make of this item really, because I like the stats on it, but I really do not like the passive. I don't like any of the spikes or the earrings really, because I feel like the idea of you have to like pick it up to get the heal or pick it up to get like the damage, I just don't really see it being viable in the middle of a game. Most people aren't going to be looking on the ground trying to pick up that item. So I will say this, these are still good items for the stats, especially if you're a healer and you play Umoja. The healing stats on this is really good. You get 60 protections and you get 350 health, like straight up. And you know, you get 10% CDR. You lose the HP 5, but it really doesn't matter because you're getting a lot of health and you'll get HP 5 from other items. And plus you're a healer anyway, so. But yeah, like the stats are amazing on some of these, but I just don't like the passive. So unless you're playing, like for example, Fae Blessed Hoops, unless you're playing Emoja or Afro, I really don't think it's worth picking this item up on anyone else, just because the passive isn't too worth it. And I talked about this too. The Divine Ruin, Spear of the Magus, and Spear of the Desolation. You get a bunch of cost decrease on all of them. Divine Ruin especially is really good. People aren't picking this up unless they have to, because right now it's just not in the meta, especially with Magus and Desolation. I still use Desolation, and I only pick up Divine if I really need the anti-heal, but the cost effectiveness is a little bit nice to try and bring that back in the meta. Rod of Tahuti is back in the meta because you get 135 power. That is a whole lot. I think the only other item that gives you more just straight up power is I think it would be Doom Orb and then Evolved Warlock Staff. I think you get as much power. Those are the only two items that you get as much power from. So, Rod of Tahuti is a very good item right now. And yeah, I mean, straight up, if you're a mage, like I wouldn't build this first item because I don't think that's worth. I still think Warlock Staff. But you get a lot, 135 power. You definitely have to consider putting that in your build. I don't think Poly is going to make an appearance just because of the 1 second cooldown on its passive. I just this item is strictly for Kabrakins right now and Kukulkans that are like trying to still do the book build, even though the book build isn't really great. Bumba's Hammer is really good now too because you get the ultimate cooldown on your ultimate ability, so that's really good. I know a lot of Hunbatses are happy. Jotuns, I feel like they're always buffing Jotuns, trying to get people to use it when it's already being used. But Jotun's Cunning, one of my favorite items in the game for junglers especially. It's a really good item, and you get extra 5 power, which is nice. Jotun's Vigor, you get an extra 5 power. I don't really use Jotun's Vigor anymore because I feel like gods that use it aren't really good, like Pele, for example. I feel like Pele is just not a good god right now. Brawler's Beat Stick, you get a lot of power, like 55 power from Brawlers, and it's just natural anti-heal. I feel like, I don't know if people aren't picking this item up, but they really should be because it's 55 power straight up, like, and it's anti-heal. You may as well. Crusher is out of the meta, and this won't change it. Neither will Titan's Bane because this is just a weird passive. The problem with this item is that the passive works on gods that you don't want to target. Like, you get a lot of pen shred from the passive, but you don't want to target the tanks when you're a jungler. You just want to go in, do damage, and go out. Shadow Steel Shuriken, again, crit is, well, I don't know if I've said it, but crit, I've said it so many times to my friends, crit is not good. Don't build crit. Shadow Steel Shuriken is a good item, but crit chance right now is just not a good thing to build, in my opinion. I think power and pen shred attack speed is much better. What you want to focus on is if you're an ADC, is the white number that pops up when you auto somebody. Get that white number as high as possible. That is the number that you want to worry about, not critical chance numbers. Tainted Steel. I don't know if this is going to make a comeback. I think it has a potential for like some flexy. If you're in like, silver, gold rank, you might be able to flex this in against some good matchups in soul lane. But I really don't think Tainted Steel is going to make too much of a matchup because right now Bluestone is being picked up a lot. And then there's your Sigil for anyone who plays Ratatasker. The masks got nerfed, and this one is a little bit of a shift, but Yeah, I mean the masks got nerfed, but I don't think these items are being picked up too much anyway because they're really risky. And I feel like the problem with these masks is the same problem that people had with the obelisk. People don't understand how these items work, and I think it's just unless you truly know what you're doing, I really wouldn't build these two items. They're just because you can mess up your entire build from having these two items, and unless you know or you have like a pro build or something, I really wouldn't mess around with these items in your theory crafting because again, most people don't know how to. I myself am not like an expert on what builds work best with this, so I tend to just stay away from these items. Compassion is very good in my opinion. It's the meta for starter items for support, so I would definitely lean into this. Sentinel's Embrace would be my second choice. I don't think people are getting Sentinel's Boom. They buffed Nox, which I don't know why, because Nox is not coming back in the meta. Yanis is getting a little bit of buff, and I think he's fine. I don't think Yanis is one of the top mid laners right now because I feel like the top mid laners are like Baba Yaga and gods who like really hit you hard like pen wise, like they just burst you. And I don't think Yanis does a lot of burst damage. Raijin, I haven't tested him out, but I don't think this is going to matter too much because the problem with Raijin is that it takes him a long time to get online to actually do some real damage. And I think he needs to get buffed to the max so that he's almost broken, and then they need to scale him down because it's hard to build Raijin up. It's easier to tear him down and scale him downward rather than build him upward. So I think they should just buff him a lot, make him broken, and then just keep scaling it down until he fits in the meta. Thoth, I don't think has a place in the meta either, but I mean he does have a lot of penetration if you actually are a good Thoth player and you can hit your one without being like caught out of position. But I don't think Thoth is going to be picked up too much more. Scotty is another ADC that's kind of like Thoth, where it's like, yeah, if you can hit your abilities and not get punished for not being incredibly mobile, then yeah, it'll work in some situations. If you're doing like, to me, if you're doing the, because I have an ADC build, the video that I did with Donzaburo is basically the ADC build that I swear by. So if you're doing that build with Scotty, you should be fine. But it's just tough because gods like Scotty and Thoth does have a dash, but you have to make sure you know how to use the dash, and most people don't. So essentially, it's like you don't have a dash, and I feel like Scotty also definitely does not have a dash, and people just get punished a lot for playing gods like Scotty and Thoth. So they can work, but you just have to be really careful about where you are on the map. Neith isn't really good, nothing to talk about with Neith. Guan Yu is even worse, nothing to talk about with him. Set is interesting. I think Set is a much better jungler now. I've seen people use him in soul lane, but I think he's a much better jungler because attack speed Set is actually very good. I think if you do Golden Blade with Set, if you start off with Golden Blade and you do Bumbus Hammer into an attack speed build, you do Trance. Honestly, if you do my ADC build, the one that I have on my channel, the Donzaburo build, if you do that build, but you swap out Bumbas instead of Leather's Cowl and you do Golden Blade, or you do Golden Blade then Trans, and then you would end off on Silver Branch, like that might be a really good build because his auto attacks hit very hard and he's hard to run away from. He's very sticky. So it's worth a chance. I actually might try it myself and maybe make a video about that. Maybe I might make a video on theory crafting a bunch of builds. Aries, I have not seen Aries once in my games, and I don't expect to. He's just not a good support right now because I feel like he gets blown up too easy, and the whole point of a support is to take a lot of damage but not enough to kill you because you want to just get the burst heal. And also gods support, I think the best supports in the game right now are supports who have knockups or pulls. Those are the best supports, and he really just he doesn't have any of that. He just has his ult is a pull, but it's a beatsable pull. Like I'm talking about like Atlas is 2, where he can just pull you out of a fight and relocate you. Cerberus is not really good because healing is not really a crazy meta right now, so there's no like real place for Cerberus in the meta. Kumba is still annoying, and so yeah, he's probably going to get played more because Kumba's just annoying. I don't know why people don't like Kumba. Like he's really annoying. He just gets in people's way and makes fights much more tedious because it takes so much longer to kill people because this fat doofus is in your way. Like Kumba, I've played against Kumba in ranked games. It is highly annoying. Terra is aggressive. I like Terra a lot, but again, people need to know how to play aggressive and not die. For those of you who watch the SPL, Awesome Jake plays Terra very well. He's the definition of I'm a support. I'm going to throw my life in the wind, but I'm going to make it work and not feed. But even he has his games where he gets cooked too, so it's tough to play gods like this. I don't think Sylvanas is good. Bacchus is top 3 support in the game right now. Knockups, let me say this. Knockups are the most OP form of CC. If your god has a knockup, you are going to get so many kills or get people to get kills because of knockups. Knockups are incredibly annoying to deal with. I feel like they're, for whatever reason, recently, or maybe even all season, it's hard to remember, but recently knockups have really been annoying, especially when your beads are down. Like, you just get knocked up and then blown up. So Bacchus is really good right now. Sobek's always a nice option because he has his knockup too, and he has a nice ult. I feel like his ult does a lot of damage, plus he has anti-heal in his 3. Changa's really good right now because of Warlock Staff, and she has her 2, which is really why she's elite, because it's hard to kill a Changa. If you invest a lot in trying to kill Changa and you waste ults on her and you don't get the kill, it's going to be very costly because you dumped so much and you didn't get the kill. Even if you do get the kill, it might not be worth it. Kukulkan's doing fine. He's not great, but he's fine. People are doing Soul Eater on him, so, and Bluestone. I mean, he's doing fine. Personally, I don't think he's like a top solo, but it depends on if the other solo lane and other team is good. If the other team isn't very good, you could probably get away with Kukulkan and like stomping them, but he's also very risky because you can blow up Kukulkan fairly easily. And Medusa's doing fine too. Anybody who takes Transcendence well is going to do fine, and Medusa takes Transcendence very well. Plus her kit. Only thing about Medusa is you have to make sure you're not building ability. Still build for attack speed, but just have Trans, have Aussie, have Exy, because I feel like people build her ability wise and get smoked. Still build her for attack speed, but just have those ability items like Transcendence and like Exy. But yeah, so that is the Love and War update. I think it was a good update. There's a lot of different items that I like. Like, I love the mage items. I think Bumbas and Jotuns is a really good item too. And I think Tainted, they're trying with Tainted, so we'll see. Compassion and the support things. I'm not really sold that it's going to change the game, but we'll see. I could be wrong because it's only one day into the meta. And so, let me show the good news that I mentioned earlier. I hit Diamond. Now, I was Diamond 4, but I actually snowballed back to Diamond 5. But, yeah, I'm in Diamond right now, and I have, like, 33 TP. I'm 50 and 41. My record has not been as good as of late. Let me just show a quick history. I've been playing a lot. And it's just win-loss, win-loss. So I had a bad streak. I've been queuing with my friend. Had a bad streak here. And it's just win-loss. Some of these are pubs games. But, it's so tough, man. Because look at this, right? Win-loss, win-loss. And then I just won. But it's like, it's tough, man. Because, you try to go on a winning streak and then you get some absolute trolls. But if you take a look at some of my games, I've been playing a lot of Kukulkan because, that skin. 13 and 5, 7 and 2, 11 and 6. 9 and 2, 10 and 6. I've been having 10 and 5. I've been having some really good Kukulkan games. And if you want to see my build, where is it? This is the updated build. So this is the build you should definitely use if you're playing Kukulkan. You do alternate timeline because, yes, you need alternate timeline. You're going to get blown up. But if they dump everything on you and you have Beads Aegis plus alternate timeline, all you have to do is pop your 3 on yourself, Beads Aegis. If they kill you, that's fine. Ult immediately as you're up and then dash away. And most of the times you're going to blow them up with damage and they'll have to back up. Typhon's Fang is the best last item you could do because you get 200 mana. I forgot that this item gave 200 mana, and the more mana on Kukulkan the better. Plus you can get a 500 pot and you'll be maxed on cooldown because as of this build you only have 10, 20, 30, but if you get a 500 pot you can get 40. You could do the other Pendulum of Ages, but I would rather do alternate timeline because it's much safer to have that in the back. But yeah, I'm Diamond, so I'm happy with that. At least I hit Diamond this season. I'm obviously, my MMR is still Plat. It was Diamond MMR, but I'm working through it now. But yeah, I'm just happy I hit Diamond. I did this on a controller, not keyboard and mouse, so I'm going to try keyboard and mouse next season because I'm chalked on keyboard and mouse. I'm literally stuck in silver. But on my controller, I hit diamond, and that is fine with me. I'm going to keep trying to go as high as I can go. Hopefully I can get mid diamond. Like, if I'm diamond 3, that's fine. I'll take that. But yeah, that is the Love and War update. Let me know what you guys think about the update. I personally think it's a good update. I think Smite's pretty playable right now. But please let me know what you think, and consider subscribing. It would mean a whole lot to me, and liking the video. And I will be back with some more content soon.